Chapter 104. Want to buy the liquor worm. Eventually, Fan Yuan did not go downstairs, and his brother did not go up. The two persisted, and the distance between the floors indicated that the distance between the brothers were enlarging. The talk was not smooth. "Brother, you are just too much. To think that you are such a person." Downstairs, Fan Zheng stood, his brows creasing tightly as he screamed. Fan Yuan was not angry, but laughed lightly. "Oh, what kind of person am I? Brother?" Fan Zheng sighed deeply. "After our parents died, uncle and aunt adopted us. They have the gratitude of raising us. To think that you are so heartless, returning favor with revenge. Big brother, is your heart made of stone?" Saying so, Fan Zheng's tone was slightly trembling. "So strange, this inheritance is rightfully mine, what is there to be said about revenge and favor?" Fan Yuan retorted unenthusiastically. Fan Zheng gritted his teeth, acknowledging, "Yes. I know, this inheritance is from our parents. But you cannot take them all, you have to at least leave some for aunt and uncle to let them enjoy their life in retirement, right? Doing so, you really are making our hearts bitterly disappointed, you let me look down on you." Pausing, he continued, "Did you ever return home to see the living conditions that they are in now? Half the servants at home were already retrenched, they cannot afford it? Brother, how can you be so cruel?" Fan Zheng's eyes were red, clutching his fist, he screamed at Fan Yuan. Fan Yuan laughed coldly, he knew that uncle and aunt had controlled the assets all these years and must have amassed a huge fortune. Even if this was not so, just with the profits at the end of the month from the wine tavern, they would be able to afford all those servants. They are only pretending to be poor so Fan Zheng would come and find trouble. Fan Yuan used his gaze to size up Fan Zheng and said directly, "My adorable little brother, if I insist on not returning the assets, what can you do? Although you are 16, you have already acknowledged them as parents, don't forget that. You have lost the rights to the inheritance." "I know." Fan Zheng's gaze had a divine light, "That's why I am here to challenge you to a written war challenge, Shaolin Showdown. Gu Battle Showdown basically. On the arena, let's have a match to decide victory, if I win, return a portion of the family asset to mother and father." This world's Gu battles were like the Earth's martial arts competitions. Between clansmen, if they had unresolvable conflict, they could use this method to settle the problem. There were many types of Gu battles, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, battle of arts, battle of strength and life and death battle. Of course, Fan Yuan and Fan Zheng would not be so serious as to fight to the death if they had a Gu battle. Seeing the brothers' determined expression, Fan Yuan suddenly laughed. "It seems that before this, uncle and aunt specifically told you, huh? But, as someone who lost to me before, you have such confidence of winning me?" Fan Zheng squinted, unwillingly thinking of what happened not long ago, the humiliation on the arena. Ever since, every time he thought about it, rage would rise from his heart. This rage was directed towards Fan Yuan as well as himself. He hated himself for being useless, being frantic at the critical moment. As a matter of fact, he had underperformed in that battle. His tempo was taken away by Fan Yuan, and he only thought of using the Jade Skin Gu at the last moment. In the end, he lost abruptly and very indignantly. Fan Zheng's anger towards himself fueled even more intense indignance. Thus, unavoidably, he had such a thought: if I could redo it, I can definitely perform better and defeat my older brother. Thus, when uncle and aunt complained to him, Fan Zheng not only wanted to take back the inheritance for the two of them, but also wanted to fight Fan Yuan again to prove himself. "Things are different now, brother. Fan Zheng looked at Fan Yuan, his eyes burning with determination, fires blazing around him. "Last time, I performed badly and lost to you. This time, I have successfully refined the rank 2 Gu Worm Moon Raiment. You cannot break my defense anymore." Saying so, he emitted a vague light blue fog around his body. The fog enveloped him, and in the mist, it eventually formed into a long floating ribbon. The ribbon looped around his waist and coiled around his two limbs. The middle section of the ribbon drifted above his head, causing Fan Zheng to give out a sort of graceful and mysterious magical breath. Indeed, it is the Moon Raimond, how foolish, revealing your trump card like that. Fan Yuan stood on the stairs, seeing the scene, his gaze twinkled. Moon Raimond was a rank 2 goo worm with defensive properties. Although the defense was slightly lower than the white jade goo, it could assist others in defending and had greater contribution towards small group fights. With this goo in his hands, Fan Yuan really could not break Fan Zheng's defense with his bare fists. Sending the fist over was like hitting cotton, absolutely losing its kinetic force. Even if he used the Moonlight goo, he could not break through unless it was the Moonglow goo. Thus if Fan Zheng wanted to fight and invited Fan Yuan to a goo battle, according to the clan rules he has to accept. Without revealing the white jade goo, Fan Yuan might really lose. A grade is a grade, and with the clan leader's nurture, Fan Zheng is growing rapidly. It could be said that, during the academy phase, Fan Yuan suppressed Fan Zheng. But now he had to admit, Fan Zheng was starting to show the brilliance of a genius and was showing imposing threat to Fan Yuan. But, you think I did not expect this? Fan Yuan stared down at his brother, his lips curling. He said to Fan Zheng, my persistent little brother, of course you can challenge me. But have you gotten the approval of your teammates? If during the battle, your group has to go on a mission, how would you choose? Fan Zheng paused. Indeed, he did not think of this. He had to admit, his brother was right. The group had to work together, and if teammates wanted to go on individual operations, they would need to report first. Thus, you might as well go back, find that leader Guyu Qingshu of yours, and explain the situation. I'll wait for you guys at the Northern Gates Wine Tavern, Fan Yuan said. Fan Zheng hesitated slightly, then gritted his teeth. I'll go now, brother. But let me tell you, delay tactics don't work. He came to Guyu Qingshu's residence, and the family servant led him in. Guyu Qingshu was practicing using his goo. His body was moving around in the garden's arena stage, extremely agile and fit. Green vine goo, he lightly said, and from his right palm, a green vine shot out. It was around 15 meters. Qingshu grabbed the vine and used it as a whip, splitting, coiling and sweeping around. Pow pow pow! The shadow of the whip swept across the floor, sending the concrete on the broken ground flying. Pine needle goo. He suddenly kept the vine whip, and flipped his long green hair. Immediately, from among the hair pine needles shot out like rain. The pine needles hit the wooden puppet not far away, piercing its entire body and creating close and numerous pinholes. Moon whirl goo. Next, he placed out his left palm, and a green-colored crescent insignia glowed in a bright green light. With a flick of his wrist, the green moonblade was sent flying. Different from the trajectory of a normal moonblade, this green moonblade was more curved. While flying in the air, it traveled in an arc, making it harder for enemies to predict. As expected of the number 1 goo master among the rank 2, Senior Qingshu. With such an attack, I can't even last for 10 breaths. He's really too strong. Fan Zheng stared with his mouth wide open, forgetting his original intention in the first place. Oh. Fan Zheng, why are you here? The previous mission just ended, you have to rest more, got to keep that balance between work and rest. Guyu Qingshu, upon noticing Fan Zheng, kept away his fighting aura and smiled gently. Senior Qingshu. Fan Zheng bowed to him respectfully. This respect was sincerely from his heart. Ever since he joined the group, Fan Zheng had been attentively taken care of by Qingshu, and in Fan Zheng's eyes, Qingshu was like an elder brother. Oh Fan Zheng, it seems you have business with me? Qingshu wiped the sweat off his forehead while going towards Fan Zheng with a smile. It's like this, Fan Zheng said his intentions, as well as the entire story. Hearing so, Qingshu's eyebrows slightly rose. The truth is that he had heard a lot about Fan Yuan, and when compared to Fan Zheng, he was more interested in Fan Yuan. Might as well meet him for once. Thinking so, Guyu Qingshu nodded, I have something to discuss with your brother as well. In that case, let's go together. Fan Zheng was overjoyed, thank you senior. He, no need to thank me, we're in the same group. Qingshu patted Fan Zheng's shoulders. Fan Zheng could feel warmth in his heart, his eyes unwillingly turning red. The two got to the tavern. A shop assistant had been expecting them all along, and brought them inside. On a square table by the window, there were several side dishes and 2 wine cups, and a pot of wine. Fan Yuan sat on one side, and when he saw Gu Yu-Qingshu, he smiled and extended his hand. "Please sit." Gu Yu-Qingshu nodded to Fan Yuan. He took his seat, then said to Fan Zhen, "Go take a stroll around, I'll talk with your brother." He was a smart person. Upon seeing only 2 wine cups, he knew that Fan Yuan wanted to have a chat alone. The truth is, he had such intentions as well. Fan Zhen acknowledged and left the shop indignantly. "I know you, Fan Yuan." Qingshu smiled, opening the wine pot skillfully, pouring a cup for Fan Yuan and one for himself. "You are a very interesting, smart person." Saying so, he raised his cup towards Fan Yuan. Fan Yuan laughed and raised his cup as well to return the toast. The two drank it in one shot together. Qingshu poured another for Fan Yuan again, as well as for himself. As he poured, he said, "There's no point beating about the bush when talking to a smart person. I'll be open, I want to buy your liquor worm, how much would you sell it?" He did not ask Fan Yuan if he was selling it, but asked directly how much, showing his immense confidence. He was the number 1 rank 2 Gu master. At a young age, he reached rank 2 peak stage, overpowering the rank 2 upper stage Qi Shan and Mo Yan. Once he appeared, he took the initiative and poured the wine and toasted Fan Yuan. His confidence together with his gentle smile formed a unique aura. It was not overbearing and forceful which could make people disgusted, but it made others feel his persistence. His long green hair, and the winter sunlight shining through the window and onto his fair, gently streaked face. This let Fan Yuan subconsciously think of the bright and beautiful radiance of spring. A truly talented person. What a shame, Fan Yuan thought. He was not bothered by Qingshu's act of taking over the initiative. In fact, Fan Yuan was slightly appreciative of him, and he sighed lightly.